Okay, step number 2, how to profit. Well, once we've developed the land, now we can develop the lot. And for many investors, one of the more popular ways of making money with raw land is by developing it into something more. So why should you develop land? Well, depending on the location and zoning regulations, a raw land investment can be developed into many different things, including a residential or multifamily or even commercial property. And you can sometimes develop raw land investment into multiple entities, which can ultimately produce a multitude of revenue sources for investors. Now, in addition, this land can become very valuable over time as home and rental prices go up. The third way that you can profit is that you can buy it and you can hold it. Now, because the price of land today has the potential to become more valuable in coming years, buying and holding onto undeveloped land has the potential to earn viable returns for investors, especially in the long term. Now, there are various options for investors to purchase raw land below market value, from auctions to county tax sales. Now, I want you guys to write down specifically county tax sales, because even in the midst of the nationwide moratoriums on foreclosure and evictions, county tax sales on raw land continue to take place. Why? Well, for one, nobody lives there. So they're not protecting anybody by not allowing tax sale on land. So if you don't pay your property taxes on the land, the taxing authority is going to foreclose. They're going to take the land back, and then they're going to look for somebody like you or me to come in and offer to do something with that land, because the city, the county, the municipality doesn't want the land. They want the tax revenue from the land. Now, for those of you that live over on the East Coast, and this is about from, if you take Michigan and just go straight south, and then take that whole eastern side of the country, you guys have a very judicial foreclosure process, which results in land banks. Many of you have land banks in your market that are managing thousands and thousands of lots and acres of properties that they've taken back through tax lien sale, and they're just waiting for somebody like you to do something with them. Huge opportunity. Now, another way you can profit on the land is you can lease the lot. There are many businesses looking to lease land on a monthly and a yearly basis, and these operations need undeveloped land to conduct their operations. Now, I right now have a vacant parcel, 5.5 acres, and I am renting out to a trucking transportation company. They are leasing 1 acre of land. I just built a fence, and so now this guy is he's a trucker, and he ships cars. So he manages several dealerships in 4 states, and he goes to Washington and he picks up a load of cars and he takes them back, he unloads them on this land. Then he picks up some cars from Idaho and Montana and Oregon, and then he unloads them on this land, and then he loads them all up on different trucks, and then he takes them back to dealerships wherever they need to go. And he is paying premium prices on vacant dirt for this trucking operation. So I didn't have to build a building. I didn't have to bring in utilities, water, sewer, septic. None of those things exist, and the land is cash flowing. Now, did I know that when I bought it? Yes, it was part of the reason I bought it. It was beautiful. So leased land allows individuals and or companies to rent land rather than to purchase it. Now, on that same parcel of vacant land that I was talking about, we have what's called a hard pad or a hard corner, okay? A hard corner is where you have a 4-way stop light, okay? And you have a lot of traffic going in either direction. So this is a hard corner because it can be accessed from both directions. Now, this hard corner, we are offering it as a build to suit, okay? Now, you guys have seen these signs. Anytime you see a build to suit or lease to suit, okay? What they're saying is, it's our land, but we will build you whatever building or structure you need to have on that land so that you can lease it back from us. Now, we will own the building and we will own the land, but you will have the perfect spot, the perfect location, and a building built specifically to your needs as a company, and all I need you to do is sign this 10 or 20-year lease. Now, right now, I am working on such a plan for a window company that needs a 25,000 square foot warehouse / office, and we are negotiating them signing a lease, a build to suit, where we would go in, obtain the financing to build the structure to specifications, And for that, they sign a 20-year lease, which means at the end of their 20-year tenancy, they will have paid off the construction of the building, construction of the land, and significant cash flows with rates of return 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% annualized over 20 years. And at the end of 20 years, we still own the building, we still own the land, and it has now appreciated 200 and 300%. Okay? So guys, the power of this thing is just unparalleled. And I know that many of you came here thinking, well, I don't think that's for me. I want to assure you it is. There's not a single one of you here that this is outside of your reach or your realm of probability and possibility. In addition, you can lease raw land investment for other purposes. This includes billboard rentals, cell phone towers, ranchers, as well as utility companies. Now, the method of earning a profit is very similar to other types of leasing programs. The goal is to earn a monthly return on the property through a lease agreement. Now, for commercial, you could do parking spaces such as an open field or parking lot. These are common in cities where parking is not always readily available. You could also do short-term commercial leases for temporary or pop-up retail shops, which are also popular in land leasing arrangements. Right now, I'm in talks with a guy who every weekend, he puts out a bunch of signs and flags. You guys have seen these? So he's got the signs, he's got the flags, he's got the blankets, and they roll up in a cargo trailer, and they unload it, and they got all their racks, and they're just there usually on a Saturday and a Sunday, and then they pack it all up and they go away, and who knows where they go, but then the next weekend they come back. So I'm saying, look, I got premium land for you. I've got great frontage. I've got high traffic counts. I said, instead of leasing space from this gas station, why don't you come lease space in this premium piece of dirt? So we are working on something just like this because I just want to generate cash flow from the dirt without having to build anything. Landlords that own large plots of farmable land often lease their plots to tenants when they have no interest in farming the land themselves. Now, this is happening all over America. As our farmers are aging out and retiring, they need to do something with the land. Oftentimes they don't want to sell it because it's, fifth or sixth generation farmland, and they don't want to sell it. So they will lease it to their neighbor, and then their neighbor can farm it. Sadly, a lot of them are ending up having to sell because they can't find anybody to do anything with the land. And I remember we were coming out of South Dakota, and we stopped at this little podunk travel stop because my son had to have Arby's because they have the meats, right? They have the meats. So my son wanted Arby's, so I Googled it and I found a gas station which had an Arby's in it. So he's sitting there eating his Arby's, and I grabbed one of those flyers in the front door, and there was this advertisement, and it was kind of sad. It said 1.2 million farmable acres in Indiana with water and pasture land and timber. Seller willing to carry. Old age forces sale. No heirs want the land. And I thought, man, that is sad. Here you got this farmer that's been working this land his whole life, probably has kids. They don't want anything to do with it because land is a lot of work. But man, here's a tremendous opportunity. And I know many of you are thinking, well, Lee, did you buy the land? No, because I don't want 1.2 million acres in Indiana. It kind of violates my 25-mile radius rule. And by the way, you guys, when I'm doing land deals, those also fall into my 25-mile radius rule. And I know that some of you have struggled with the 25-mile radius rule because you think you can't find any deals, like real estate deals in that 25-mile radius. But what happens when you add land and infill developments into your analysis of that 25-mile radius? Do the opportunities get bigger and bigger and bigger? I think you will discover that yes, they do. Advertising. Advertisements, rights on street furniture, transit shelters, wallscapes, and other digital billboards you can lease on land. Governmental land leases allow the government to retain control and interest in the land while simultaneously permitting the general public to enjoy its use.